Hi everybody, welcome to this talk on frequencies and our emotions and what's going on within us. So, when we look at, say for example, the drumming that we do in many shamanic get-togethers and traditions, or if we look at the different sounds we have going on, we can see, here's another sound, we can see and feel how these sounds can affect us, how they can put us in a different state of mind like that. On so many levels, we are frequencies. We are made up of different frequencies. And that's true from a very, very scientific point of view as well. When you look at our bones and our skin and our different organs and different, matter that we're made up of, they carry a different frequency and vibration, all of them. So the bones in our body is denser than the skin and the flesh that surrounds the bone. That's why the bone is harder. The density is made of a quicker frequency. The atoms and the molecules in the bone, or in the bones, they vibrate at I think it's a shorter and higher vibration, quicker. They're denser. And that's the same thing then, less and less, intense vibration, and then we go into our energy field, which is surrounding everything that we are. And no matter how you break that down, even if we look at this from a very, very scientific point of view, you look at, this is one of the singing, the Tibetan bells, right? The tingshas. And the tingsha is made up of a form of metal. This metal has atoms spinning very quickly, both emitting, it's actually emitting photons, but also the atoms are spinning very fast, bound together and held together in the right place by an electromagnetic field. This field, the spinning that the atom does, creates the field outside of it as well. So everything that we are and have in existence has an electromagnetic field that's measurable. That same goes for our bodies. It would be very strange if all matter in our world, this empty paper box, has a measurable electromagnetic field. It'd be very strange if everything in existence can be measured in a field around it, like an aura, except for our bodies. That'd be very kind of unscientific if we look at it that way. So if we look at our bodies being made up of atoms and other matter that's spinning, that's creating an electromagnetic field around our physical body as well. Now, our field is also made up of electricity running through our nervous system. So there's electric radiation, or whatever we want to call it, by itself. When there's a current through a cord or a wire in the air, you can measure a field of electromagnetism around that as well. You have heat radiation coming from our skin because we have heat coming out of our bodies. The kinetic movement in our body, like the blood flowing, is creating also a vibratory field. So we have a vibratory field and an electromagnetic field around our body, around our system, that's measurable, depending on what kind of instruments you use to measure with. Now, these are all frequencies. Our whole body, our whole self is made up of frequencies. And even when you feel something, if you want to try something out, you can be like, think about when you got angry last, or when you are angry, like, ah, and you can feel that feeling in your body, how that is a frequency, a vibration in your body. That frequency vibration releases a bunch of chemicals that then releases a bunch of reactions in your system. So if we are threatened or angry, our heart rate goes up, that starts to pump blood into our system. And then also adrenaline comes out, also enhancing our body's ability to move fast, to react to threats or perceived threats of violence or whatever it is, right? That's a frequency we enter. And then you can think about when you feel love. You can think about how that feels. How is it when you are in love? You feel that beautiful feeling where everything is perfect. Or you go into listen to a beautiful piece of classical music and imagine yourself sitting in that field of flowers. The sun is shining on you. It's a beautiful spring or summer day. You're in the field of flowers and grass and you're just enjoying, just tasting life. How does that feel? What kind of frequency can you detect in your system when you feel that way? So when we start to recognize that our emotions are like frequencies in our system, we also begin to recognize that different, say for example, music will affect us in different ways. So like that a Native American saying of, which wolf will win inside of you. You have two wolves inside of you. You have one that's angry and hateful, and you have one that's loving and warm. The one you feed will win. So there's nothing wrong with having anger in our system. There's nothing wrong with being able to react if there is a real danger. But most of us walk around with an overamped sense of danger, overamped sense of, I gotta be angry, I gotta be tough, I gotta be hard, I gotta be this, I gotta be that, instead of just being. So when we feed the wolf of light and love, that gets stronger in our system. That frequency becomes more anchored within us. And as that frequency becomes more of a familiar territory for you, it also makes it easier to go back to that place when we lose ourselves. Every now and then, everybody loses themselves. Every now and then, we might fall victim of that anger of like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. And if you have been anchored in the frequency of love and light, before you go into the anger, you can recognize the anger. You can be like, oh shit, I'm angry again. Okay, let me pull back into being in that love and light space. And then we can learn that when we either go into chants, we can do an Anusara invocation, we can do the Gayatri mantra, we can do a bunch of them, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. We can do a bunch of these different chants. Or we can go into Native American music and we can listen to the hey ya 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 ho ya hey ya ho ya hey ya ho ya hey ya hey ya hey ya. We can go into these different places. And then we begin to feel a different feeling inside. This unlocks frequencies that we before couldn't really reach inside of us. And as we go on that journey, it's an inward journey of healing. We begin by healing the trauma that are stuck in our system, and then we breathe into the trauma, we release the trauma. And as we can become more adjusted to and sitting in these new frequencies, we also become more susceptible to the frequencies entering our system. And that's when we want to be aware and alert of the frequencies that we let in and the frequencies that come through us. And as we sit in meditation, as we sit in that love, that inner sense of love, we can also anchor ourselves into the frequency. This helps us with anxiety, with fear, with stress, with worry. It helps us with all these things that otherwise can invade our mind, because even stress and anxiety is a frequency. And when you get used to that frequency, you wake up, oh, what's going to happen today? Oh my God, it's going to be another hard day. We wake up like that. But when you can snap out of that frequency and into the peaceful, loving frequency inside of you, where your mind actually comes in alignment with your body and your heart, suddenly it's a lot easier to find your inner stillness and your inner silence. And you can access portals inside of your mind that you could not access before. You can access states of being that you were not able to access before. So this is why, for me, the path of the shamanic walk has opened up a lot of new frequencies that I was not aware of before. And I welcome you on this walk. I welcome you on this path. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or thoughts. And I wish you the best on this walk of love and light. We walk into the dark. It's not like we should avoid our shadows. They are there for a reason. But when we get sucked into the shadow work, it becomes another part of our ego. It becomes another part of the programming, the bias. So we come back home by sitting in stillness, recognizing the frequency of love and light. We raise our vibration by sitting in that. Then we got to see the dark, of course. We got to release the dark. We got to allow it to be and go. But we don't want to become it. Because that's another part of our ego. You have ego here, and you have love and light over here. Well, you have ego, 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 ego. Part of ego is shadow work. We get stuck in shadow work. We're stuck in ego. But that's another video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this. Hit me up with other questions and thoughts. Lots of love, lots of light. Namaste and aho. Hey,